My name is Archita Bose and I'm the graphic designer at Barion. I spent a lot of years trying to fit into a specific niche of design, but what I really like is experimentation. But I have noticed a pattern, and I think I really enjoy minimalist design and I create systems. And this is my pattern, I think, just to create something that is scalable or that can translate in different ways, or something that has many elements that can be put together to create different things. And I think that's the type of design that I gravitate towards and really admire as well. I think the thing that I've improved on the most while working in Barion is probably taking into consideration everybody's opinions. I think because when you start out, you kind of have your own ideas on how things should function or how things should work. And while that's good, it's also super important because there's so many stakeholders involved that you have to take everyone's opinions, ideas, and all of those things at the end of the day help to improve the product, because the priority is obviously the customer, and we're all sort of customers. So I think taking into consideration everyone's opinions, I think, is something that I've had to learn to do. I think the most surprising skill that helps me with my job is effective communication, because you can communicate really well and have good rapport with people, but when you have to get a job done, there are certain, understanding what questions to ask, I think that's a very important skill, the right questions at the right time. So if you can do that, then you basically do that initial research, which is basically the foundation of your final design. So you don't have to keep going back and forth. So I think that skill was something that took me a little bit of time to learn, but I think it's one of those really surprising but very important ones. I think one of the biggest challenges is probably taking feedback in general and then implementing the feedback as well, but in understanding that feedback at the end of the day is not about you as a designer, but it's about the work and the product, and getting that to be the most efficient and the greatest possible product, right? So yeah, I think probably that would be the biggest challenge. And also I think organization, because I tend to be a bit chaotic as a designer, so I think it's very important to get all of your things in order before you start design. I think that really helps. The brand guideline, right? Because honestly, every day that I sit down to work for anything related to Barion, I am so glad that we waited those, worked for 6 months trying to make sure that we had a really good guideline, and then eventually branching out and creating, a variety of components and icons and arranging all of those things in a place that's very easily accessible, and illustrations, because all of these things, all of these small building blocks are what I use on a daily basis to create every single thing that we put out into the world as a company. To build a brand in the fintech industry, you need a brand guideline. You need something to go and refer to get that consistency through all platforms when you sell your brand. The most memorable day for me was probably one of the days in my first week where we had a brand meeting with all of the CXO, and everybody got together on a call and we all decided what was the foundation of the brand and how we would represent ourselves. And then that's the point at which we started actually building the brand guideline. I think that was a very good day altogether, yeah. I think specifically this type of position, you have to wear many different hats. So I think just through the course of working here, I've done such a diverse range of activities, I think. So I think it's really great to be super open-minded. Know how to research is literally the most important thing, because if you don't know something, you can learn it. So that's learning on the job is really important. I think these are the things that really help you be successful in a role like this. Probably advice that I would give people getting into the field is practice. And I know that it's very intimidating and there's so many different types of things that you can do in graphic design itself. But like the way that you're most successful is if you pick a single thing and really focus on it. But I'm the type of person that enjoys everything and I'm really excited about all aspects of design. So I think just practice and don't get overwhelmed and just work on whatever you want to work on and make things. Yeah. While working at fintech, there are a lot of companies that I am constantly referencing off of because they are just so good at what they do and they have massive teams of very well-trained designers. And I think I look up to those types of people, like people who are working in teams and generating really beautiful, perfect designs. And I think companies that are similar to us, like we have Stripe, Revolut, and I think those are huge. And I think recently Figma had a config, and the art director of Stripe, she spoke and stuff, and I thought she was great. And I think that's the type of role that I would like to be in at the end of the day, where I direct things. I don't think there's a single thing aspect or like one answer to that, like one answer to what it takes to make good design. I think design is similar to art in that it is subjective, but there are certain things that you have to follow certain values and composition especially. But at the end of the day, if you play around and you understand how to place things in a way that feels good to the eye, and I think you've got something that's good. At the end of the day, you really need to develop taste. It's the main thing. Because when I started my career, the things that I made and I looked at that time, I thought they were great. And if I look at them now, they look horrible, right? They're just, because you develop a sense of what good design is with just creation and viewing really good design. I'm just really starting to enjoy the user experience aspect and like really understanding how our user is going to interact with our products and like really doing that fun research before you actually start making the interface. And I'm still really enjoying that. And I think on a really base level, I enjoy brand identity over everything, like creating brand identities. What I like about, I think, Barion and where we are as a company right now, we're not too big yet and we still have time to evolve really. Although, like, I mean, you can do it if you're like huge as well. It's just easier for us now to evolve and experiment with things. And I would really love to incorporate motion eventually and have, because we, as a company, we deal with really complex subjects. And if you're able to translate that into motion, then you catch the attention of people a lot better. And they're just definitely more interested to know about what's happening, or like trying to get involved basically. So I think Revolut does that a lot now, and they have motion and 3D. And so just the regular user is very intrigued by it because it's so cool. So I think we should be cool too. It's taken some time, but like now we are slowly getting to see the brand identity get translated into our products. Like it's happening, it's slowly, but this is the exciting time.